pleasant good day to each and every single one of you. I am Lyrical Evangelist and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm joined by my good friend, Brother Aaron Critch. So say hello to them on the other side of the camera.
Yes, sir.
And we are in Matura right now, sunny, bright, relaxing Matura. And today we want to bring a word for you today. A word that we are struggling with in congregations. A word because we are struggling with it in life on a whole. And that word is about racism. Now the Bible says in Genesis 1:27, God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Now if the Bible says God created man in his own image, who created niggers? If the Bible says God created man in his own image, who created coolie? If the Bible says God created man in his own image, who created crackers? See, these things the enemy placed in our circles to kind of divide us and to separate us. And now we have hatred. Now I hate the Indian man. Now I hate the Chinese man. And the Bible said it ought not to be so. God created man in his own image. And so many times we see racism infiltrating politics. We see racism infiltrating the church. We see racism infiltrating on the job. And the Bible says to love your neighbors, you love yourself. And talking about that topic, that was actually a topic me and Aaron did a few months ago. Love your neighbors, you love yourself. And we just need to keep coming back to it. Because we live in a society now, black people have to get everything, or white people have to get everything, or Indian people have to get everything. When in heaven, God said, behold, I go to prepare a place for you. He's not going to prepare a place for just Africans. He's not going to prepare a place for just Asians or white people. We're not going to be segregated in heaven. The Bible says the seraphims and the cherubims fly around God every day, all day, every day, saying, holy, holy. You know, we are not separated in heaven. We will be around lions, you are around bears. But you tell them you're going to be around dangerous animals, but you don't want to be around somebody of a different color, or a different ethnicity, or a different race. The Bible says in the last days, nation shall rise against nation. And in the original language, it says ethnos. That means ethnicity. So the wars we're seeing that the Bible is talking about is ethnic, racial wars. When we take a dive in the Bible again, when Jesus said, in matter of fact, let's go to Acts chapter 10, with Peter's vision. Now there was a centurion by the name of Cornelius. And Cornelius wasn't a Jew. He wasn't like Peter and those other guys and the apostles and them. And Peter received this vision 3 times to the Lord, whereas a shit came down from heaven with all kind of dirty meat that the Jews were not allowed to eat. You understand? And when every time the thing was saying, get up Peter, kill and Peter said, no, I'm not gonna eat anything unclean. I'm not gonna fellowship with anything unclean. You understand? And God said, who is you? Who is you? What I make clean, you call it unclean. And many of us mistake that verse to talk about things we're supposed to eat, but God was actually talking about humankind. He was actually talking about fellowshipping with the Gentiles. So then the centurion now, Cornelius, sent his people to Peter and he fellowshiped with them. And then after, when the people and them were chastising Peter for fellowshipping with people who were Gentiles, the uncircumcised Peter said, listen, God appeared to me and he showed me this thing. So we're talking about racism today. Look at John chapter 4 with the Samaritan woman. The woman said, you are a Jew and I'm Samaritan. Why askest thou me for a drink? She's plainly saying, listen, as a Samaritan, you have no dealings. The Bible says Jews had no dealings with Samaritans. And yesterday, Jesus was breaking all these racial boundaries. He said, we must go across there. And when his disciples came back and saw him, he said, wait. We doing talking to a Jew and not just a, we talking to a Samaritan, and a Samaritan woman at that. And that same Samaritan woman God used, and she evangelized to everybody in the community and brought them back to Jesus. We're talking about racism today. Let's keep going again. Numbers 12:1. Moses married an Ethiopian woman by the name of Miriam, by the name of Zipporah. And Miriam and Aaron, Moses' brother and sister, was bad talking Moses and his wife because he married that black woman. Right? And they spoke against Moses. Numbers 12:1 says they spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. And God was so angered. The Bible says God's anger was kindled against them, that he separated Miriam from the camp, and she was afflicted with leprosy for 7 days. For 7 days she was afflicted. Look at how God views this. Look at how God views racism. Look at how God views this. For 7 days, she was afflicted with leprosy. Now, leprosy at that time was the worst thing. COVID had nothing on leprosy. That was the worst thing you could have possibly get. Your flesh will be deteriorating and rotten. Your ears and things will go numb. Rats and things will be chewing on your flesh because it have no feeling in it. That was the worst possible thing they could get. And God gave that to her for 7 days so that she would think about what she was doing. That she would release that stronghold in her mind that's saying, we better than them people and them people not better than us. And it's Indians versus black and it's Chinese and it's Syrian. We need to let go. We need to let go of that. The Bible says God created man in his own image. Is the devil made niggers, is the devil made crackers, is the devil made coolies, is the devil made spicks. We not to refer to each other as that because God made us in his own image and his likeness. So will we put on the garment of love today? Will we stop looking at they and them and start viewing it as us? Will we change our hearts and come into a posture of surrender and humility and learn to love our neighbors as we love ourselves? These are the questions I want to ask you all today. Wishing you all a blessed one.